I have a battery here, and there's a light bulb in a little holder, and I have a couple of wires. And let me just wire something up. I'm going to put the wires on this light bulb holder. I have two wires, and then I'm going to touch this to the ends of the battery. So what is going on here? I've just made an electric circuit, and electricity is going through and making light energy from this light bulb. Let me make a drawing of this setup that I've just made to begin to describe what is going on here. So this is the battery, the thing that the electricity is coming out of. Here's the light bulb. And there's a wire coming from this side, going into the light bulb, another wire coming from this side. These light bulbs are designed so that when the electricity goes in the bottom, it goes through the filament, and then through that filament, and then back out the side. So we have what's called electric current coming out of the battery, going through the filament, and coming back. The filament is a thin piece of tungsten that when electricity flows through it, it gets real hot, and it gets so hot that it begins to emit light. So this is what's called an electric circuit. It's a complete circuit from the battery through the light bulb and back. And you have to have an electric circuit in order for electricity to flow, because you know that ordinary matter is made of electrons and protons and neutrons, right? The electrons and protons are electrically charged, and so they're in this battery. Everywhere inside the battery, there's the same number of protons everywhere as electrons, and so electrons and protons are evenly mixed. But the electrons, it turns out, can flow through the wire, but they can't build up in any place, because then you'd have negative electric charge and they'd be repelling each other. So in order for the electrons to come down here and deliver energy, they have to go completely through this circuit. You can never build up extra electrons anywhere. So in order for electricity to flow, there has to be a circuit. Now, the battery here is providing the energy to push the electrons through the wire, to push what's called electric current through here and deliver the energy down here. There's chemicals in the battery which undergo an exothermic chemical reaction, delivering energy to the electricity, and that can then deliver the energy down here in the light bulb. I'll talk in a few days about how batteries work, how the chemicals provide energy, but this is one type of a battery is one type of device you can use to push electrical current through a wire and utilize it. So everything here, you know that metal atoms are bonded together with metallic bonds, in which the electrons are sort of have a vast valence shell amongst many atoms, and they're free to move amongst them. So everywhere where the electrons are moving, they're going through metals, they're going through electrically conducting metallic materials. Now, so the electrons are flowing through here, the atoms are not flowing, and again, the electrons are not building up anywhere, they're just flowing through this circuit. So let me first of all define a couple of terms with electricity, terms most of which you've probably heard before, but I want to tell you exactly what they mean. First of all, electric charge. What is electric charge? Well, electric charge is a property that protons have and that electrons have. Protons have positive electric charge and electrons have negative electric charge. So electric charge is a property that a particle has if it is to be influenced by the EM force. In other words, anything that has an electric charge is going to be affected by the EM force. So protons attract each other, protons and electrons attract each other because they're oppositely electrically charged. Electrons repel each other because they have the same electric charge. Protons repel each other because they have the same electric charge. So electric charge is simply that property that a particle must have in order to feel the EM force. And of course neutrons have zero electric charge, so they don't feel that force. Okay, so that's electric charge, and there's a standard international unit of electric charge. It's called the coulomb. Every proton has a tiny fraction of 1 coulomb of electric charge. It's like 1.6 times 10 to the minus 19 coulombs, a tiny, tiny fraction of a coulomb because they're so small. An electron has the exact same amount of electric charge, but a negative sign, minus 1.6 times 10 to the minus 19 coulombs. You don't have to remember that quantity, that's not important. But suffice it to say that electric charge is that stuff that a particle must have in order to feel affected by the EM force. Okay, next term, electric current. Electric current is the movement of electric charge. So when electric charge is in normal matter, electric charge is pretty much standing still, right? But in our little circuit, the battery was putting some force on the electrons and causing them to flow. So electric current is moving electric charge. In the case of electricity, it's the electrons that are moving, not the protons. Protons are always standing still in the wires, but the electrons are moving, carrying their charge with them. And the standard international unit of electric current is the amp. That's short for ampere. We'll just call it amp. 1 amp is 1 coulomb per second. So if I was standing alongside a wire and I could see the electric charge that's moving inside there, and I could count the number of coulombs per second that pass a point, let's say three coulombs per second are passing on 1 point. That's called 3 amps of current. So the ampere is the standard international unit of electric current. You've probably heard of an amp before. Probably haven't heard of a coulomb, but it's just the rate at which coulombs electric charge are flowing through a wire. Okay, so electric current. And then let me introduce the term electric circuit. So electric circuit is a complete circuit where the electricity can flow around. Electric circuit doesn't have to be just a single loop. There can be very complex electric circuits. But the word circuit, where have you heard the word circuit before? They use it in car racing. Circuit racing means it's going around a closed path. A circuit judge is a judge that goes around to a number of different courtrooms and is the judge for all those. So he goes around this circuit of courtrooms. Okay, so that doesn't have a unit because it's just a thing. Another term, electric potential. Electric potential is the amount of energy that's in the electricity. The unit of energy is the joule, the standard international unit of energy. I haven't talked too much about that yet, but I'll talk more about it later. But suffice it to say, it's a unit of energy, and energy is the stuff that you have to make things move. It's the dynamical sort of fuel of motion of the universe. And the electric potential unit is the volt. Now, you surely heard of a volt before, but you may not know what it means. 1 volt is 1 joule of energy per coulomb. So this battery is a 1.5 volt battery. What does that mean? That means when I have it hooked up to the light bulb, every coulomb that goes around that circuit and through the light bulb delivers 1.5 joules of energy to that light bulb. Do you see? So there are the potential of this battery, 1.5 volts, means every coulomb of charge that flows around when it's running delivers 1.5 joules of energy, 1.5 joules per coulomb. So let's say I have a light bulb that's where 2 amps are flowing, 2 coulombs per second. Each one is delivering 1.5 joules per second into that light bulb. And since there's 2 per second, that would be a 3 joules per second of energy deposition. So Now that'll bring me to the next term, power. Now here's a term you've heard before, but it has a very specific meaning in physics. It means the rate of energy flow. So in the example that I just mentioned, 3 joules per second of energy are being liberated in that light bulb as light. That is called 3 watts. The watt is the rate at which energy is being delivered by the device that's using the energy. And 1 watt is 1 joule per second. So again, in my example, if I have this 1.5 volt battery and it's running with a light bulb and there's 2 amps of current running through there, 2 coulombs per second of charge running through that light bulb filament. Each one is delivering 1.5 joules of energy. So 2 coulombs per second times 1.5 joules per coulomb, that means 3 joules per second is being liberated by that light bulb. Now, when you think about electricity, you probably think more about the electricity coming out of the wall socket. How is that different? Well, it's different in a couple of ways than the electricity coming out of a battery. I can't show you a socket, but let me plug this into the socket I have right here. Now you see there's 3 holes in there, right? Forget about the third hole. One is where the electricity comes out toward the device that's being powered, and the other is where it's going back, so that it forms a complete circuit. This is called, the third one is called the ground. That's a safety device to make sure you don't get shocked by a damaged refrigerator or something. But you see why there's these 2 slots are the ones where the electricity is going out and back in. Now, one of the things that's different about the electricity that comes out of a wall socket, different from the electricity that comes out of here, is this is called alternating current. That means the electric current is going back and forth. The current just goes around in one direction, and here it's going back and forth. This is called direct current, and this is called alternating current. There's a couple of reasons why they do it that way. It makes it easier to transport electricity over large distances. Anyway, otherwise the basic terms and principles are the same. The AC is just going back and forth. But now this is American electrical power supplies are designed to deliver 120 volt electricity, 120 joules per coulomb. Remember I said this is a 1.5 volt battery. Every coulomb of charge that it delivers 1.5 joules of energy. Every coulomb that this delivers 120 joules of energy. So it's got much more energy packed into it. And if I, let's see, let me plug this light into here. So that's a fairly bright light. It's much brighter than the light bulb that I used on that battery. So the 120 volt electricity that comes into our homes is really designed to power things that take larger amounts of energy, like the heating and air conditioning in your house, or blender, or the television that takes more power than a tiny little light bulb or something. Now, this is a 40 watt light bulb. That means 40 joules of energy per second are being turned into light energy in this. And let me just show you one more calculation of this, hopefully illustrate this idea of a volt and a watt. 40 watts is 40 joules per second. That's the rate that thing is producing light energy. And it's doing that using electricity that's 120 volt electricity. 120 volts is 120 joules per coulomb of the charge that's coming out of the wire and through the light bulb. Every coulomb is delivering 120 joules. Now, I said earlier, with that earlier example, I had 1.5 joules per coulomb times 2 coulombs per second, right? That gave me 3 joules per second, right? Now what do I have? I have 40 joules per second, 40 watts, times some amount of current, which I don't know. That's always represented by an I for some reason. times 120 joules per coulomb, that's the potential. If I just divide both sides by 120, I get 1/3 coulomb per second. So that's the current, 1/3 amp. Now, you won't have to do any calculations like this, but I thought it might help make the concept of volts and amps a little bit more clear. Let me just do one more. Let's say you have a microwave oven that's using current at a rate of 10 amps. Microwave ovens take a lot of power, so 10 amps seems like a lot of current, but it's not uncommon for a microwave oven to use that much power. So 10 amps of current, and of course the voltage is 120 joules per coulomb, 120 volts. The power is the current times the voltage, or 10 amps, 10 coulombs per second, times 120 joules per coulomb, right? And that is 1200 joules per second, 1200 watts. So the more current that a device uses, the faster it's using up energy from that.